With India coloured in traditional festivities at this time of the year, a lot of us would be cleaning our houses, accessorizing it with the latest motifs, and throwing away the unwanted garbage. But where does this dirt go? How harmful are our everyday habits for our surroundings? As much as it is an opportunity for us to live in a clean house, a Swachh or clean environment must be on our agenda each day.
Youth of the world will show definite ways. As world has heard one youth from Sweden telling what are the issues or what they expect. But here are Indian youths who have shown the way and solution. We must create our own oxygen bank.
While the government is encouraging citizens to beat this challenge, youngsters are taking the lead in taking immediate action against climate change. Well, India began the International Solar Alliance in 2015, and 4 years down the line, more and more countries are joining us in our bid towards bettering the environment. Today, we are at a very special event where almost 3,500 students from across India are taking part in the Global Student Solar Assembly. Now, what does this mean? What does it mean to celebrate this on the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti? Let's try and talk to them and understand what these youngsters feel about bettering our environment, about climate change, and of course, what they have done today. Hi, what is your name?
My name is Kiran.
And what have you done today?
I have made a lamp, and this lamp is made by me. In this lamp, we have used many equipments, and our school teachers help us a lot. And along with this, we are very happy that we are the part of this assembly. And being a citizen of India, it's very good to be a part of this and saving our environment.
This is one of the benefits of LED lamps, that they can be used at night by students, of course. But you know, how do you think it contributes to our environment? You know, the government, the Prime Minister has always focused upon using LED lights. They also came up with the Ujala scheme to distribute LED lamps. Why do you think it's important for our environment?
Because it is operated by sun. These are exhaustible source of energy. Solar energy can be used to light lamp, and we can study free of and we can protect environment from pollutants because it produces very less pollutants.
Right. Can you explain to us how you made this lamp?
This lamp, we first assembled the bases and the conductor elements. Then we connected the solar lamp to it to charge its battery, and when the circuit was completed, the lamp switched on.
Right, so a very simple process is used in making LED lamps, and these students are here, to do their bit and of course spread awareness about, environment and using LED lights. I was talking to all these guys about the use of LED lamps in bettering our environment, in combating climate change. How do you feel it's going to help in combating climate change?
In the future, it's definitely going to help our environment because it is environment friendly. Moreover, the fluorescent light bulbs which we use are quite polluting for the environment, and these LEDs and the solar lamps and the other conventional sources of energy which we are using today, they will help in future as sustainable resources.
Absolutely, sustainability is something that we should focus upon. But the lamps that you've made, could you explain to us the different parts of this lamp?
So in this lamp, this is basically a LED lamp which works in solar energy, also on the battery which we've used. It has various parts, such as the parts that we've used inside are basically the motherboard, the battery, and also the LED light which is right here. Also we have a solar panel right here which charges this LED lamp, and it takes at least 15 hours to charge, and we've also got a manual as to how to deal with this.
Right, she told us the different parts of an LED lamp, but I would also like to understand from all of you guys what you think is useful in combating climate change apart from LED lamps that you've made today.
I think there are various ways in which we can combat environmental changes which we face. and I think one of them is disposing our garbage. I think efficient ways of disposing garbages, especially e-wastes, they create a lot of pollution, which is obviously not, which is damaging the environment, which we see today. And then there are small changes which we make in our daily lives. For example, carpooling to our offices and schools using public transports. Such small steps can lead to big changes. And I believe that we should take the initiative to do such.
Absolutely. I think she said a very important thing, and it does deserve a lot of applause, I think, for all of you youngsters contributing towards environment. But I just want you to make some space for me so I can sit. All right. So, you know, what she said is that in our daily lives, we need to make some changes that, you know, improve the environment, that helps in combating climate change. But, you know, in your daily lives, what are the problems that you suffer as youngsters that climate change is coming up with?
So basically in Delhi, being in Delhi, we face many problems like asthma, and we can see like after Diwali, we see so much smog and so much pollution being there. Like there are many ways of combating this. Number one, we have tried to, there are many ways of like, there's being introduced odd even in our city so that they can be, the pollution levels can reduce. Also there has been a law about banning one-time plastic use. Also, plastic is like a very main cause for pollution because it is basically non-biodegradable, and being non-biodegradable, it takes like a lot of time to be decomposed. So like that causes a lot of pollution, which leads to many harmful effects, and especially the kids in our country, maximum of the kids in our city, they are basically facing a lot of health issues, mostly asthma and breathing problems, and many even it is also very fatal, and also many people are dying due to this.
Yes, you know, single-use plastic is one thing that has been banned by the government, but also he brought up a very important point, that of air pollution. And winters coming up in Delhi, we all know we've suffered, you know, that smog that we all have to suffer, and the people who have breathing problems or the ones who don't have end up having it because of that air pollution. You know, what do you think are the solutions that as youngsters you guys can provide?
As youngsters, we can provide that we should spread the awareness about not bursting crackers in Diwali or using these solar lamps, which we actually got from this workshop. And then the point comes when we use vehicles for even covering a small distance. We can easily switch to cycles because it has two factors that can positively affect our health. First, that it increases our physical efficiency, and it also contributes to the environment by not polluting it.
But how practical is using a cycle? Of course, you know, it's a very good option that we all should be using cycles as a form of, as a mode of transportation. But, you know, how practical do you think? Do you think you will be able to ride it from home to school every day?
It all depends on the distances. If we cannot use cycles, we can use public transport, by which we can also counter the effects of the pollution, because this public transport usually works on CNG or electricity, which is not that polluting to the environment. So
absolutely, you know, using public transport, using cycles, and in fact carpooling, like she said, are some of the great ideas that we can use to combat climate change. But apart from that, what do you guys think should be the solutions to combating that air pollution bit in Delhi specifically?
Spreading more greenery, planting more trees and plants. The most generic answer here would be plants provide oxygen, like help to provide oxygen, and with the increasing deforestation in India, in Delhi, in India, and as well as all over the world, and with the increasing negligence of the people towards this main problem of deforestation, as youngsters, the best two things which we can do is spread awareness, as someone said, and plant more trees to increase the greenery.
Absolutely, planting more trees is one of the good options that we have towards you know, bettering the environment and combating climate change. But how many of you have actually planted trees till now? Has any of you ever planted trees? Or you have? That is a very good thing, you know. How do you think planting trees helps us in general in terms of, you know, combating climate change?
It helps to absorb the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere, so it helps to balance the amount of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. As the carbon dioxide is absorbed, we can reduce the greenhouse effect and global warming. In turn, we can decrease the temperature of the earth.
Right, and you know what's also interesting is we all know that we have people like Greta Thunberg who have come up and spoken against climate change. She's, you know, held a strike also outside the Swedish parliament, and now of course she's been honored at the UN. What do you think about the contribution of youngsters, as all of you, you know, coming up and speaking out against climate change? What do you guys think about that?
I think we as youngsters and the youth of the country has a very important role in, you know, inspiring or say encouraging the adults to, you know, participate and listen to us. We can obviously, for example, we can tell our parents to switch off the engine when we're at the red lights, and small things like asking them to not buy crackers for us, because so we can also tell our parents to take certain steps which can combat like climate change. Also, I'd like to talk about my grandfather who's very excited about doing something for the place we are living in. So he plants a lot of trees in the park that's right under our house. So I think he's inspired me a lot, and he always listens to whatever I tell him to do. So I think all of us should talk to our parents, also take initiatives in our own school. For example, the Environment Club in our school has a tree plantation on Independence Day and all of such days to celebrate. Instead of having grand celebrations, we can at least plant a tree. If all of us plant a tree, I think it's going to be really helpful.
And I think it works vice versa, youngsters inspiring the older ones, and of course the older ones taking the lead in inspiring our youth, you know, towards working towards our environment. What do you guys think, you know, what has been your contribution towards the environment?
According to our school, we have promoted various schemes, like we are still using segregating the plastic waste and biodegradable wastes. We have started many initiatives through school. Along with that, we are also started initiatives at our home by awareing the people from the colonies and not to use the single-use plastics. At least they can plant a tree at their birthday, so that there will be more and more trees every year.
हमें कम से कम कार्स यूज़ करनी चाहिए और कम से कम पॉल्यूशन करना चाहिए और मोस्टली हमको जो कचरा है डस्टबिन में ही डालना चाहिए.
A lot of videos unfortunately surface on social media almost every day where marine life is getting affected because of the kind of pollution we create in our oceans, in our seas. How do you think we can combat that? Of course, one is that we do not throw all this trash in our oceans, but what are the other things that we can do to combat marine pollution?
Personally, I think there are a lot of ways that we can combat this marine pollution. First, we can spread awareness that's the most basic thing we can do today. Like, we all have social media platforms available in our homes, and we all have devices right now. And we can do share videos along with spreading messages like we should stop throwing single-use plastic and all the other stuff into the oceans. Second, personally, we can be enrolled in various initiatives taken by the government, like our localities, societies, RWS are holding various initiatives to just awareing people, and also doing initiatives to clean the water bodies and save the aquatic life. Also, we as students know how harmful it can be. Like, we know the scientific effects. Like, there are a lot of people who don't know the scientific reasons behind it. Like, we know that aquatic animals do require oxygen to survive. So we can just aware people about the uneducated people about the consequences. And personally,
I think it's also less about people being uneducated, but you know, there are a lot of educated amongst all of us who don't follow the guidelines that should be followed in making the environment better. You know, you guys have made lamps today. What do you think about, like I asked him about the marine pollution bit, how do you think we should you know, make people aware of not doing such things? Social media of course is one thing, but apart from that?
In morning we can put a rally from our school that we should collect single-use plastic and children and we should take an initiative, maybe Gandhi, to promote the education of Gandhiji, and we should make elder aware by picking up single-use plastic from road and throwing it in dustbins.
You know, what do you guys think? are the violent ways in which we are intruding our environment and harming it?
Ma'am, we harm the environment by we will use the bad things. We will increasing the pollution which is bad for our environment.
All right, yes, you want to add something?
Also, exhaustion of resources has become a very big problem, and to combat that, we youngsters, personally in our school, we've started many various drives. And also we have paper recycling clubs, and we have a rainwater harvesting system in our school. Also we have solar panels installed, which is our step towards contributing to in order to combat these environmental issues which are causing a lot of problems to us.
Absolutely. These are the great initiatives that we need to take in our daily lives to combat climate change and do more towards climate action. But since we were talking about Mahatma Gandhi, the kind of principles that he had led his life on, whether it was non-violence, whether it was protecting the environment, we are celebrating that today. What do you think about those principles of Gandhi that he had on environment and protecting the nature around us, and how do you think we can follow them today?
What I believe is that today, in the ways in which we're harming the environment, it is imperative that we involve those principles in our lives. The way we intrude forests and the lives of animals, and we think it's our space to rule, but it's not really ours. It's it belongs to all of us, and I guess we need to have a system of equality. We can't treat animals the way they've been treated. We can't treat environment the way it is being treated, and I guess it's imperative that we make some strong steps and decisions on this right now, or it'll be too late.
Absolutely, like they say, there's no planet B, there's no other earth that we can live upon. How do you think Mahatma Gandhi's principles will help us in protecting the environment today?
I think Mahatma Gandhi was a pioneer of not only non-violence, but he wanted to spread peace. And peace is not only about non-violence, or is not restricted to such, but like our attitude towards the environment, how we damage it and how we take it for granted. It proves the ignorance of humanity and how we have taken everything for ourselves. And I think Mahatma Gandhi believed that non-violence is a very effective way of promoting peace amongst humanity, and I think this should also be applied to not only towards amongst people, but towards the environment as well, and how we treat it in our everyday life, in how we treat it in our everyday lives. And I think when we say that we're environment friendly, I think there are some mistakes which we've also made, like unintentionally throwing garbage on the streets, or so those little things which cause the environmental damage.
First of all, I don't really understand why we are going through this, because it's very easy to just be careful of what we're doing, be cautious of what we're doing, to not pollute the environment. It's just there are such easy steps. So basically planting trees. Now that trees, we know they basically suck out the carbon. I don't understand why it is such a problem in today's world to not just follow that principle. Also, I have also noticed that personally, I don't really understand why we are using plastic in our everyday lives. For example, if you just see some food packaging or carry bags or anything else, there are so many methods, because there are ways where you can produce some material which is biodegradable, which is not one use, which can be recycled very, very easily, because even recycling plastic is not that easy. So just not using, if I just get a chocolate, that would still be in a plastic wrapper, right? So if it just came in a paper wrapper or some other biodegradable material which people work upon, then that would just make such a huge step, because the production is worldwide, and if that is removed, that's half of our problem is actually solved.
Absolutely. So we need a overhauling of a lot of things that we are using in life. But since we're focusing on solar energy also, how does solar energy and solar alliances, like India began International Solar Alliance in 2015, and a lot of countries are joining us. How do you think that contributes towards combating climate change? We are using solar energy, which is one of the safest ways to use our resources.
solar energy actually creates a change in our lives, as we know that solar energy works on energy taken from the sun, and hence it does not pollute any of the environment, and we can use this solar energy in the replacement of petrol, diesel. We can produce a lot of energy from it.
Do you think solar energy is going to be beneficial for us in the long run?
For sure, solar energy is beneficial for us, as at this stage when we are at extent of many resources, solar energy is the one helping us in doing further development of our country.
All right, I also touched upon social media and the videos that come up on it, and I'm sure all of you use social media. You guys are there on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You have ample number of platforms. But how do you think, it helps in spreading awareness about climate change, about climate action, about the steps that we need to take? And how can we use it better, in a better way, to spread awareness amongst not just our friends, but our family members, the older ones, who probably are doing things still which are ignorant and harming the nature?
Via social media, we can spread the message of using items that are in favor of the environment or can be composed or decomposed by the environment, are biodegradable, and promote the idea of saving the environment. So like the videos of Greta Thunberg, like most of us won't have seen it otherwise on the television when it was running live, but when it was posted on social media by the UN, by Greta Thunberg herself, then I think a lot of people were able to get access to it.
Also, when you spoke about Gandhi, the Gandhian ideology of non-violence also implies here, because there's a constant tussle between the nature and human beings. We've been doing a lot of harm to nature, and as a result, we can see that there are a lot of natural calamities in our country all over. For example, in UP we have the floods, in Maharashtra we have floods. So that is how nature is responding. So through social media, I guess we all can spread the very message of conserving our nature and actually what we can do to save the environment.
Absolutely, and like you said, I'll come back to you. Like you said, that human beings and nature, we see them differently, and I think that's the point where we need to change, that we need to see nature as part of ourselves, and that's when we're going to do things which it's going to, be protective about it. What did you want to add?
Yeah, so adding on to what she said, when we say that we've borrowed the earth from our future generations and not inherited from our ancestors, what we mean, I think it's the very essence or the very base of the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi, that is working selflessly for the benefit of others and not being selfish. So if we learn to take the blame on ourselves and not blame others that they're throwing garbage here and there, which is why the earth is being polluted, and understand that we're supposed to take a step towards what we believe in, I think be the change you want to see in the world. I think that.
Coming back to the social media point, social media is an effective platform to voice your opinions as well. Like all the polls and other sorts of other technologies due to which we are able to choose between two options. All these actually help to prove that yes, we want to change for the better. And as she pointed out, the Greta Thunberg videos, many people would not have seen it if it was not for the social media. So social media is not only a negative platform to spread negative ideals. It is a useful platform if we want to use it effectively.
WhatsApp पे अपने friends से environment की discussion करते हो कुछ climate change के बारे में?
Yes.
क्या बात करते हो?
That why we should not throw garbage as it pollutes our environment, and we should throw the garbage in the blue, green and white dustbin. Blue for the wet garbage, green for the dry, and white for the paper garbage.
You tell your friends and your family to don't throw garbage on the street, don't use plastic material?
Yeah, I tell them that don't throw plastic, single-use plastic, mineral bottle, Bisleris, empty bottle on the road. Throw it in dustbin or keep it and go to home and then throw it if there is no dustbin.
Yes, I'm glad that social media is being able to spread that sort of awareness that youngsters need towards protecting our environment. Before I wrap this discussion up, I want to ask all of you, what would you like to say to your youngsters who are your age, to your friends, about protecting the environment and about climate change?
So basically, we need to say that the young generation is the citizen of the future. So if we encourage the young generation, then we will have a good future generation, which will also inspire the young generation, and the cycle continues, which will eventually prevent this earth from getting destroyed by the adverse effects of bad environment.
Okay, what would you like to say?
I'd like to say to the young children to grow plants everywhere and put plant every day or every month. It will keep the environment greenery.
Absolutely. I think, like Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. And all of these students are inspiration enough for all of us to take action immediately in response to the climate change that is happening. And we all should do our bit towards environmental protection and combating climate change. This is it in Y Factor this time. But we will see you with another interesting episode next week. Till then, you can send us your feedback at yfactorddnews@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Twitter at DD News Live. Thanks very much for joining us this time around. Namaskar.
Hello and welcome to Y Facts, our rapid segment where we bring you interesting facts of the day. I'm Shivali Khari, and today together we will be tracing India's path-breaking journey towards renewable energy sector in just 10 points. Well, India is a country that produces large amount of energy through renewable sources. Keeping up its commitment towards a healthier planet, India has taken a pledge to achieve 175 gigawatts of energy through renewable sources by year 2022. This target of 175 gigawatts of energy includes extracting 100 gigawatt from solar power, 60 from wind power, 10 from biopower and 5 from hydropower. With the accomplishment of this target, India will become largest green energy producer, even surpassing various developed countries. According to New and Renewable Energy Minister R.K. Singh, India has already achieved 80 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity, which includes 30 gigawatt of solar and 36 gigawatt of wind power. In the recently held United Nations Climate Action Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi reaffirmed India's commitment towards the cleaner energy by increasing India's target by 450 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity, and that too we have to achieve by 2022. In the summit, Prime Minister Modi also urged the world community to organize global people's movement to bring in behavioral change in the masses towards environment. Today, if we see globally, India stands 4th in wind power capacity, 5th in overall renewable energy capacity and 6th in solar power installed capacity. Prime Minister Modi's vision for cleaner and greener energy is incomplete without International Solar Alliance that became the first intergovernmental and international body to be headquartered in India. Today, the alliance has 79 signatory members. In 2018, PM Modi received UN's highest environmental award, that is Champions of Earth Award, for his policy leadership and pioneering work in International Solar Alliance. In the end, the good news is that we are well on track to achieve 175 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2022. Trends, in fact, suggest that we are not just on the track to achieve it, but the target will also be exceeded more and more in near future.